Imagine somebody comes in and is doing like this. He has saliva, drooling. They'll say, don't mind her. You know the woman now, she's always quarreling in the market. That woman, she's the mother of that child. She's always, I've seen her 3 times quarreling in the market. It's those market spirits that entered her stomach. No, but I've been told that my child has disability because I'm a bad person. I've been told so many things. Because I'm a journalist, by the way. And my job keeps me up late at night. I have to stay out at night. Then they say it's one of those nights that evil spirits entered me. In fact, that child itself is evil. But you know a lot of people kill these children. I hope you know. Are you aware? A lot of them die. A lot of them die. There was a pathetic case I was privileged to hear. There was fire outbreak in their house. They removed everybody except that child. Each time I think about it, my body shakes. They removed everybody except that child. They left the child to die. It's in just here it happened. It's not far. And I know them. Now, just last year, I just moved into a new neighborhood. Then one woman is a school. I moved near a school because there is something we want to do with that head. And one woman, a caregiver there, a staff of the school, said, So this woman actually knew the child had disability from birth and she's suffering herself like this. That if she's the one, she will have killed that child though. That woman said so and she was fired. That means she will have 0 patience for my child. She will not, and I don't even feel safe. She can poison my child. So we actually killed these children. May God forgive them. I don't know why they do that. So again, what are the imams saying? What are the pastors saying? The imams are asking us to do ruqyah. I'm sure the Muslims here know what ruqyah is. They're asking us to do ruqyah for the child. The pastor is asking us to do exorcism for the child. The pastor is telling us go to mountain of fire. Sorry, I don't want to mention any church. They're asking us to come and do vigil. There was a program we did with Mr. Francis, and a parent, a man. Okay, when we did it, it's for parents. And he was the only man that came. And I said, this is full of women and a man is here. I thought he was for Ike Foundation. So I went to him. He said, no, that he's a parent. So you have a child with disability? He said, yes. I'm surprised you are here. Usually it's mothers that come. He said, he told us that his wife suffered a mental breakdown. She was admitted in psychiatric hospital for 3 months because of their son. What happened? Pastor saw vision for her. And the vision was that if she fasted and prayed for 1 year, her child will be healed. And she did. You know how resolute a mother is. She fasted and prayed for 1 year. Nothing changed. Then she had a mental breakdown. She ended up in psychiatric hospital. The man said, I quit my job and let her work now so that she won't have mental breakdown. The child is about 23 years old now, and he's still lying in one place. Are we together? Just last week, no, not last week, 2-3 weeks ago, a woman got my number, called me, and said, please, I want you to counsel my daughter. My grandchild has autism, but my daughter is not doing well. So they brought the lady to me. Immediately she came. My son is doing well. Oh. Nobody should tell me my son is not doing well. My son can talk. Can your son talk, madam? I say he can talk. My son too can talk now. My son can do this. Can do this. I said to Hajia, calm down. Be calm. Let's talk. So we now sat down. That was when I now got the crux of the matter. The crux of the matter is that she has done rukia with all the malams. Just name the malam. She will go there for rukia. She has gone to Saudi. She's rich. She went for lesser Hajj. She went for Hajj with this child. Giving her 20 incense to burn. Tilarewuta. They've given her plenty tilarewuta. And this incense is said to send spirits away. Well, it worked in the converse. She has now been infiltrated by spirits. She now has jinns inside her. So they have now left the child. So the woman was, when she started, the woman was pinching me. I said, don't worry yourself. They now have to face her now and be doing rukia for her to remove the jinns inside her. What am I saying? For us who are parents, please don't be desperate. Don't be desperate. If you are desperate, you will go and carry something that is more than you. Don't be desperate in any situation. I'm sure there are a lot of Muslims here. It's a test from Allah. It's a test from Allah. So you have to take it and be calm. Me, I'm preaching like this, but I wasn't this calm before. But what saved me was that I knew when they are talking to me, I know that's not the answer. When Malams are I went to Malams too, but I didn't use anything they gave me. And I'm glad I did not. Now, yes, we sit all night praying. Change it for me. I sit all night praying and I cry a lot. So when a parent comes to you and the parent is crying, please allow the parent to cry. It's, when you cry, you are able to breathe in and continue. Don't say, is it the worst case in the world? Don't say that. Allow the parent to cry. Allow the woman to cry. My child is 19. I still cry all the time. When I look at him, I look at what his mates are doing, I'll start crying. Then I'll go back again and alhamdulillah. Together. So let us we've looked at the myth. Let's look at the science. The fact of the matter is that there is autism everywhere in the world. It's not a Nigerian case. It's not related to only my child. So it's not spirit. It's not aljanu. It's not evil spirit. Because as it is in Nigeria, so it is in UK, in South Africa. It's everywhere. And hey, thankfully, now know more about autism. When I had my child, nobody knew. I was going from one hospital to the other. I was confused. They didn't know. Until I met one Oibo woman. Her husband is working in Nigeria. So somebody introduced me to her. She now gave me books. She said, no, madam, your child has autism. I said, what is autism? I still have those books. She gave me 4 books. Go and read it. So I read. I now understood what I was dealing with. It is a science. It's neurological disorder. And it affects how they interact with people. If my child was here now, honestly speaking, he will have walked the entire space of this class. You won't be able to keep him in one place. You cannot keep him in one. It's not possible. Keep him in one place. Why? In fact, if he's sitting for too long, I will ask what is the problem. Because it's not normal for him. That means that child cannot study in class. Because he's not sitting down. When my child was in class, do you know what he would do? This is class. All of you are facing me. He would face the back. The teacher called me. I said, is he disturbing anybody? Leave him. Leave him. Then one day, they asked, who can come and read ABC? He raised his hand with his face to the back. They said, okay, Ahmed, come. He came. ABC, and that's it. And the teacher called me. I was so happy. I said, so don't bother him. What am I saying? They learn differently. They don't learn the way other children learn. They cannot learn the way other children learn. If you teach them the way you are teaching other children, you cannot reach him. You cannot. Interestingly, no two children with autism have the same sign. None. It's not the same. My child has autism. Ibrahim has autism. They are not the same. Okay? So you must understand that child because he's unique in his own ways. It's a science. So if science has a name for it, does science have a cure? Normally, when science is able to have a name, they will also create a cure. Unfortunately, there is no cure. We are still searching. Are we together? We are still searching for the cure. We don't have a cure. So let nobody deceive anybody. I am very clear with parents. Do not deceive yourself. There is no cure. So if there is no cure, are we condemned? Are we condemned? We are not condemned. First, you must see a doctor. It's very important. When you have any concern, parents will come. They don't know. Honestly, they don't know. Mr. Francis will share referral hospital with you. When you see a child, whether in the neighborhood, the symptoms to so hospital so that they can get a proper okay, so that they can get a proper diagnosis for this child. Now, when you go to a hospital, what they do now that they weren't doing before, they will refer you to an autism center. That autism center will do the diagnosis for you using their parameters, and they will tell you what is wrong. And there are comorbidities. Autism does not happen alone. There are other things, all of them very big, that if you have one of it, it's enough for your lifetime. Honestly, ADHD, that you say many of you don't know, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is a big name. Two conditions, attention deficit. That child will never pay attention. You have encountered children like that. As in, you see the way I'm talking to you, you are looking at me. After he has shifted to another thing. So his attention span is very short. You understand me? As you are talking, you are looking at me, you are nodding, we are communicating. First, autism will not look at you in the eye. Ma, are you listening? You will not have eye contact with autism child. They cannot look at you in the eye. They don't do eye contact. So if you have a baby, the baby is not doing eye. I'm sorry, I have to touch you. All right. What I normally do, okay, I'm talking. The next thing, the eyes has gone elsewhere. I will change it like this. With my hand. And look at the child in the eye. And talk to the child. Then, in fact, she's holding her head still. Normally, they will not hold their head. You will struggle. They will be going up and down. I'll be moving it back. I'll be moving it back. What we normally do traditionally is to beat the child. Please don't beat. Take in the name of Allah. Don't beat. Then hyperactivity disorder. This child can climb everything in this place within 1 minute. In fact, he will climb this AC. He will jump on this fan. He will just run, going up and down. He will not sit down. All right. The traditional thing we do is to want to force the child to sit down. Isn't it? It's normal for parents to sit down. With my son, I know force does not work. Because when you want to force him, That is the health crisis very, very high. I've been working here for more than 10 years. Hold him seriously. And I'll tell you why when we go on. There is reading disability. Anyway, somebody who cannot see still cannot even read. They can't write. They can't write. If you cannot do your hand like this, you will not be able to write. But we take it for granted. But if you are unable to do your hand like this, you will not be able to write. Many of them cannot. If not, try it. Tell them to do like this. My son is 19. He still cannot do it. He can't do it this. If you ask him to do it, he'll just do like this. And that's it. He cannot. Because he cannot, he will not be able to hold a Bible and write. So if you are beating a child because the child cannot write, you are just punishing that child. It's not his fault or her fault. I hope I'm communicating. I beg you, you can stop me anywhere. Some of them also have cerebral palsy. What is cerebral palsy? Involuntary body movement. You just be seeing them shaking like. Have you seen people like that? They are like this. He can't help himself. We together have problem processing information in their brain. Let me run through. Dyslexia is a learning disability. They can't string the words and pronounce it. They cannot. And it's happening in the brain. Not because he doesn't want to. That's my son. When he was younger. What do I do? You saw a video that was played earlier of physiotherapy. Do you know that thing is very expensive? Me, I'm not rich. Wallahi, I am not. I'm not rich because I'm divorced from their father. He was not because of him, no. But after we now had a child with disability, he had enough reason to go. So I'm a single parent. Means I can't afford interventions. What I do, which I will advise any parent to do, because it works. You see, I'll go and sit in their class and be watching them. Some people even thought I'm a staff of the school because I'm always there. When I'm on leave, I'll watch what they are doing. When I start. Because I need it. And I must do it. So I will start doing it myself. We now know that even if you have money to employ all the therapists in the world, what you, the parent, is doing works better. Are we together? You know why? The therapist cannot spend more than 30 minutes with your child. You have the whole day. When he's sitting down doing nothing, I will start. When I'm doing nothing, I will hold his leg. I will do one leg. And then I want to go and cook. I will run and cook. Come back to the second leg. In the night, when we are lying down, I will he couldn't talk. And it didn't worry me really. What worried me was, can he hear? Then we did tests. We determined he could hear. Okay. It's okay. Even if you can't do sign language. My son and I created sign language for us. He started speaking at 6.5. Da, 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 da. Do you know what it means? At 6.5. That's when the child started saying, duh, duh, ma. But instead of being sad, I was so happy and thankful that he finally was able to produce one sound. Then we started building on it. Interesting thing happened. I said, he can bring room. You know they will not hear the until you shout. Room, room. This boy started laughing. I said, eh? So I started, room. Anyway, broom. He will, broom, 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 broom. Broom, 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 broom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. That opportunity to reach him. What am I saying? That child show interest one day in one small, insignificant thing. That's your window. You must enter that window immediately. He has opened very small window. You must enter it and go and resolve all the issues. Play therapy. He plays a lot. And I play with him a lot. If you don't love your child, nobody will help you. When you see the child, you say, shoo. You can't. Heaven will fall that day. Allah, I will help you. Then, occupational therapy. They are teaching him so many things, hoping that he will learn one. He's 19, no, he has not learned anyone. Are we together? He's 19, he has not learned anyone. And me, Rafat, I'm not discouraged. It means it's either I'm not teaching him right, the system is not, or we have not got what he wants. So we are still searching. Please, when you pray, pray for us. Idina Sirata Mustaqim. Let God guide us to the right path. The path that will lead us to what he can do. Aha. My battery. Okay. Then you need to plug it. Yeah, the charger is available. Where can I plug it? It's going to die now. No, this one can even do. It's the same spot. Yes, it is. What are the peculiarities? What are the symptoms? What will you see? There are a lot of things to be seen. I'm making an example with my son. That's the only autism child I have experience with. The teachers will tell you more. I am not a teacher. The only experience I have is with my handsome son, Ahmed. All right? They have problem with noise. They can't take it. Wallahi, can't take noise. And it's not big noise. The noise of children in class, he can't take it. Honestly. He will run out of the class. He cannot. You know when children are on the playground, he cannot. So he will isolate himself. We didn't know why. Until he started talking. He said, Mom, my head is paining me. When those children, my head is paining me. He cannot. Okay? They have problem with social interaction. He can come and meet you. I'm sorry, sir. I will touch you. I'm sorry. Remove your cap and run away with it. You will expect that an 8 will not do that. If I be fighting over your shoe, then you looking at the child, how can an 8-year-old not have sense? You expect a 2-year-old or a baby to do that. But he's 8 and he doesn't understand that. Okay? They are very anxious. I flew with my son on a 6-hour flight. 6 hours on the air. And throughout that flight, I was standing. At some point, I started crying. Everybody in the plane were just sympathizing. He was anxious. It's not his first time of flying, but we don't know what happened. He was just, Mommy, I want to stand up. He will stand up. He will walk through the aisle. He will sit down. He will ask me to carry him. He was 14 years old. He put his hand and said, Mommy, carry me. Carry me. How will I carry you? Somebody that is taller than me. Hold him like this. I held him. That's how we flew flight that day. And we were going for see a doctor. This I held him throughout the flight. For 6 hours, I didn't sit down. So they can be anxious. A new environment was new to him. The flight in Nigeria is 1 hour flight. Anywhere we are going in Nigeria is 1 hour maximum. No flight is more than 1 hour. But we were on air for 6 hours. So he became anxious. I've talked about running around. Taking instructions, forget about that one. Okay? Forget it. Not take instruction. But please, I want to warn you seriously. It's serious warning. He may not speak. He may not talk. He may look to you that he doesn't know what is going on. He has a retentive memory. Ahmed now, he has speech. He tells me those who were pinching him when he was up. God help you if you pass in front of him. Mommy, I told you, see him. I remember, you pinched me. You were pulling my ears. They have his memory is a recorder. He will play back everything. So if you think nobody is watching, you are pinching them, you are knocking their head, wallahi they remember. Wallahi they remember. Be careful how you relate with them. If you cannot love them, see, not everybody has the heart to work with people with disability. We admit it. Be honest with yourself. If you cannot, leave him alone. Do no harm. Because he remembers. And when he has the opportunity, he will remind you. I'm rounding up now. What is important is partnership. No parent can raise his children alone. None. You have to partner. The first fight I fought was with my mother. The reason my child is like that is because I'm not beating him enough. Yes, if your child is not doing well, they say beat him. Get cane. Correct cane. He will remember. Wallahi, he will not remember. How do I know? You know, if a child touches lantern, it's hot. He won't do it tomorrow. Oh, this one did it 1,000,000 times. That means he can't remember. He has no sense of pain, of danger. Many of them don't have sense. They can run across the road. They will not look. What does that mean for me as a parent? 24 hours, my antennas are up, safeguarding one child. They are siblings. He has brothers. Now, there was a problem. I was paying too much attention to him, and they became jealous. And outrightly hated him. You understand? So it's something we had to work on. The entire family. You need everybody. You need your neighbors. You need the school. I told you to hold Mr. Francis. Hold him all. Because the work me and him did is the reason I have my son the way he is today. What work did we do? Mr. Francis will call me. Say, Ahmed is on his way home. Well, he didn't cooperate much today. We did this, we did that. Please follow up with him. When I'm going to school, I will call Mr. Francis. Francis, we have a problem. Ahmed does not want to come to school. He said, how? I said, he's refusing anything we want to do. He said, carry him, even if he's not dressed. Put him inside the car and bring him. Put his clothes in the bag. I will bring him. By the time I get to the school, Mr. Francis and his team, they are waiting. They will carry him. He will be, do you know a child is crying is different from a child is screaming. He's not crying. He's screaming. As in, screamed so much that the owner of the school, Mrs. Uwosu, they said she just sat down and broke down in tears. She couldn't believe that. A child, he screamed out that day. So when you see a child screaming, So you must have a relationship with the parent of the child. Communicate with the parents. Let them know what is going on, what parents can do. All right. Sorry. So your partnership must work in the interest of me. I partner with anybody. If I hear anybody is good with anything, I bet I have son. My son, please, my son. All right. Why is it not showing? It's not showing. I wanted to play Ahmed's video to them. It's not showing. Now the link. I've shared the link. There's network. The work I did with my son Ahmed. See, it's great. So don't mind me where I was talking about religion. I pray. I pray for my son because I believe in God. So much that I got a call. Hello, madam. How you doing? I am Chris. I'm calling from BBC. I want to interview your son. He was interviewed by BBC. That interview went viral. And since then, I got reprieve. Some people will call me, madam, send me account number. I'm in love with your son. Just send me account number. I will get 20,000. The video we did, he wanted internet. I didn't have internet. I'm subscribing for 1 year. 100,000 naira. Somebody from UK called. My number is everywhere, by the way. Please, I'm in love with your son. Please, I want to talk to him. I get the phone. He said, what do you want? I said, nothing. I have everything I want. I said, okay, madam, I'll buy him shoe. I got dinner one day. In fact, the person sent twice. When you walk, the Christians will tell you, where are the Christians here? There is a Bible verse for it, that he rewards a walk and prayer. Is it? No, there is something else. There is a reward for hard work. So we all believe in God. Work, he pays back. And the joy we have today is that I was actually supposed to bring him, but it's too far. I don't have energy. And I know I'm coming to work. So I won't be able to attend to him. Because the caregivers we take now don't understand why you have to be following a 19-year-old everywhere he goes. They don't understand. Because he's too big for that. But he's my son. I will follow him. Anywhere he goes, sit down, do this. I will help him. See, he's playing here. Mr. Francis, you must play this video, Ahmed's video for them. It has to play. Because they must be inspired by this boy. Everything I've said cannot inspire you unless you use your eyes to see what he's doing. No, you are not. No, you are not. Please. You just have to play the video. And then I wanted to do a video conference with him. He's already seated and waiting. I want him to talk to all of us. I want you to see him. I love him. Wallahi, I do. Through him, I learned things. Through him, I had faith in God. If you don't have faith, if your faith shakes, you'll be in trouble. Through him, I learned patience. I learned faith in Allah. Because what Allah will do, he will do. What he will not do, he will not do. Are we together? The only thing I do, I pray to Allah, please, forgive my sins. Suffer this boy because of me. Okay? Okay, let me run my slide while you try to work it. Can we do a WhatsApp call with Ahmed? Do you have WhatsApp there? We can do a WhatsApp call with him. I want them to see my son. And by the way, I take my son anywhere I go. I'm not ashamed of him. Even when he was small, that he couldn't talk, saliva everywhere, he would be drooling. But if you see my son in a group, among children, he's perhaps the best child in that group. Because I have traveling bag in my boot of his clothes. Once he's dirty, I change. Once he's dirty, because things first, a dirty child cannot be attracted to it. The child has to be neat. So when they see the child is neat, they say, baby. It's psychological. So then he got missing. Okay, yes. Oh, mashallah, that's my son and me. Oh yeah, let me put mine. That's BBC. Okay. Hello. Honestly, if you're unable to play it, we will share the link with you. But I would have loved you to watch it and ask me questions. You understand? Ahmed, Lightning Players, with a Z, Players. Just go to YouTube, look for it, and you will see it. After this interview, hey, anywhere I go, Ahmed's mom, I became celebrity. Sure, you see. Is God not great? Allah Sariki. Is God not great? What was supposed to make me cry, God has used it to elevate me. Because of him, anywhere in the world I go, somebody will ask you, is that what a mess? Say, yes, you do. I'm his mom. Proudly. That's him. That's me and him. No, they are working on it. Ahmed, Ahmed. No, one N. Lightning. Players. Fetch. That's him. No.
He kicked me. In fact, when the first, not the first, when one of the therapists got frustrated and resigned, I attached him to one of my therapists, very patient, competent Mr. Ezekiel. One day, they were walking. He told the man,
so which one is this?
get angry. Ahmed told my therapist to get angry. Our children will do things that will get you frustrated. Don't be frustrated. Am I communicating? You don't have to be. Today, Ahmed is a content creator. If he comes here and speaks to you, you will think he just came back from the US, not even UK. But that took a mother who stood and never gave up. So when I told you earlier that he's a super mother, can you see what I said earlier? Listen to me. Yes. That little boy, that your neighbor's child, that boy in your class, that woman that came last time to your hospital and she was struggling with that child is not possessed. That child is not demonic. Create an atmosphere where they can thrive. And I bet you they thrive very well. I'm going to share stories with you. I will share stories with you. Ahmed is one. I was in a particular school. I don't want to mention the name of the school because I don't have the authorization to do that. They brought a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle that was the size of this table. You know what jigsaw puzzle is? Tiny. You bring them together to make something. It was a dinosaur. Out of over 600 students in the school then, we sampled about 200 and something. None of those children could fix it. It took a child with autism 4 minutes 48 seconds he assembled it. I'm not telling you what I read in the books, is my personal experience. The likes of Ziza, who happens to be Ahmed's mate. Ziza will come to the center, he will cry the whole day, struggling. We took it one step to the next. Today, Ziza is, oh my God. You don't need to sit for him to look at you before he will draw you. He will look at you like this. He will bring you the way you are on a paper. He has an article like, if you have your phone, check Ziza Okugo. I will mention names because I have the authorization to do so. Ziza Okugo. Z-I-Z-A-H. Z-I-Z-A-H. It's okay. O-K-E-U-G-O. O-K-E. Yes. Fantastic. Don't throw them away. Sorry? YouTube, just type Ziza Okugo. He will come up. Okay. Listen. This boy I'm telling you, and the likes of Ahmed, it wasn't easy pushing them to where they are today. Don't give up. What did I say? And as teachers, I will talk to you later. Tell yourself, one thing that has kept me over the years, I will share it with you. And if you keep it to yourself, you will never be tired. I am not referring to our children as animals. No. But ask yourself, if animals like dogs, cats, elephants could be trained to make phone calls, to draw, to use the restroom and flush, then why not humans? As you move, you will be faced with frustrations in quantum. But tell yourself, you're here for a reason. Am I communicating? That's this drawing. Can I shock you? He's a millionaire. He has an art gallery in Lagos. He's a big boy. This boy you're seeing at some point, if you know Millennium Park, we went for an excursion one day. He was going to jump into that. See.
Welcome back to Focus on Africa. Children with disabilities can sometimes be a source of concern for their loved ones. Many families have no support and are left to fend for themselves, especially in Africa. But in Africa, a young man, Ahmed Salami, with disability, is overcoming the obstacles and is using social media.
want to share hope. No, it's okay. It's okay. We want to share hope. But I'm going to burst your bubble. You may not get what you want. You may not. Do is to celebrate every small win, which is what I do every day. Every day, I'm in Thanksgiving mood. The day he walked, I was dancing. 3-year-old, not walking. How? The day he stood up, I started dancing. God, I thank you. My son is walking. My son is walking. The day he spoke, I danced again. I want us to be hopeful, and I want us to be sincere with expectations. It may not work as you want, but until it works, do not give up. I am not giving up. I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting. I'm not giving up at all. Because the way he is now, I can't leave him alone at home. I can't leave him alone. I can't, anywhere I go to, I must carry him with me. So is it easy? It's not easy. Now, BBC story came out. You know what I did? I recorded it. You see all those people who were laughing at me, who were telling me, I shared with them, your child is normal, ba? Oh yeah, put your child in BBC, let me see you. The power of social media is what worked for me. Because any small thing we do, I put it on social media. I was actually looking for help. Any small thing we do, I put it on social media. If you have a child, use social media. Somebody will reach out to you. Somebody will call you one day and say, you know what? There is a family we support. You see, the girl is about 15 now. She's menstruating. She can't take care of herself. You have to wear pants for her. I mean, the pad. You have to be the one to change it. She has no. She doesn't even know what's going on. We support that parent in Lagos. Any small 2,000 it's not big money we are looking for. Small 2,000, 1,000, 500 naira. I'll just call my friend. Abemona, give me 500. I want to buy pad for one child with disability. Everybody will drop 500. 500, I have 200. Just give me. I'll just crowdfund. I sent to the woman. She's very grateful. The day we get big money, there was a day an agency called us, gave us 50,000. We gave the woman. Take. What am I saying? Help anybody with a child with special needs. No money is enough. We are not rich enough. More than 2/3, I'm a civil servant. More than 2/3 of my salary goes to him. That means I'm always broke. So please, sir, ma, if you see anybody who can help me, please, I need help. This is how I beg everywhere. And I myself, I beg for all parents because I have a job. Many of them don't have jobs. They are petty traders. They are daily income earners. Some days no market. Some days market. At least at the end of the month, I can plan that when government, through IPPIS, pays my salary, I will buy his drugs. The drugs I'm giving him, 55,000 naira, I will buy it. His food, this one. His this one. House help, this one. By the time you spend 150, salary never finish. I took him out yesterday. Hello? Hello? What was the noise about? Yes, my salary is big. I'm an assistant director in the Federal Civil Service. So my salary is over 200,000. You understand? There is a parent I know whose child is on one specific medication. He can't buy it. because he doesn't have money. His salary is not regular. They have to feed. You understand? So that's the reality. I take my son out all the time. Yesterday I took him for table tennis. There was a table tennis tournament. I took him. He didn't even touch the ball like this. I was hoping he would touch it. Is it a wasted effort? It's not. I don't consider it a waste. He just sat in the corner, as in the remotest corner. I was just looking at my son. I said, hell, we've not done this thing. After 1 hour, I took him away because he's not helping anybody. But it's not a waste. So don't think taking your child out. People will laugh. Oh. Be prepared. People will laugh. So I thank you very much for giving me opportunity to speak with you. May God bless you all. May God help all of us as parents, as caregivers, as teachers. I will take questions now. If you have any question at all. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good morning, ma. Good morning, everyone seated. My name is Autism Chiwende from Abachi. My question is, if you have a child like this, is it good for you to take he or her to a normal school? Thank you, ma.
I love that question. That's the best question ever. Yes. I'm going to ask two things. She said, good to take a normal school. We are going to correct you. There's nothing called normal or abnormal school. Okay? Are we together? There is no normal. There are schools. Exactly. You know why we must correct that? Because they say our children are abnormal. Do you understand? If you think of the child as abnormal, you have created a barrier. If you think of the child as having different ability, you'll be more inspired to look for how to help the child. Now, to answer the question proper, yes, it's good to take the child to a neurotypical school. That's the language for it. Neurotypical school. The reason is that me, Rafat, I took my son, who is from Jos here, who is from the Plateau. Nobody. Do you know Ganaka International School? The Ganaka International School has a very strong listing for children with disabilities. I took my child there. My child was not flapping hand before. He came back home flapping his hand. My child, no, leave him, leave her or him. It was my error. Okay, take your hand. My child that was walking like this came back and was doing this. So there is a tendency for them to copy. The schools that worked for us, that school that Mr. Francis was displaying was inside a regular school so that they can copy. Children copy from each other. It's inside a regular school. So they do assembly together, they eat together, they play together, but we withdraw them for therapy. Do you understand? That's best practice. Because the world they are coming to does not segregate. Is there a market for people with disability? Is there? No. That's number one. But grow beyond their age mates. For instance, my child now has not gone beyond tens and units. When we went to hundreds, he couldn't cope. So he stopped at tens and units. That's where we stopped. If I teach him, we like him to primary 3. He is bigger than all of them. Now, there are a lot of sentences now that help these children. They employ regular teachers, come and teach them regularly. In fact, that center where Ahmed was, a lot of children graduated from there into regular school. So the challenge the child is facing will determine the intervention for that child. We can't give a blanket answer. All right? I hope I tried to answer your question. Any other question? Okay, sir.
Good morning, colleagues. I am Comrade Mohammed Sanusi Ibrahim from Kwali Area Council. Mommy, the first question I'm supposed to ask the questions, you have already answered it. You know, when you ask the question, say, if you know you are Yoruba, raise up your hand. I say, okay, I will not ask the question of your tribes again. If not, okay, so please, which tribe you are, please? I want you to answer that, tell me your tribes, please.
I'll sing a song.
Okay.
When I sing a song, you know where I'm from.
Okay, so okay, don't end it again. Don't end it. You are a code, you are from Kogi State already. Either from Adafi or Adaminana local government. You are from Hima local government. God bless you. Madam, the first thing is not even a patience. What I want to tell you is appreciations. When you are delivered the lectures, I flashed back to Al-Quran immediately. I said, what? But immediately I saw you in the net. I was tears. I do like this. I said, what? Is it like this? We add more. The people that organize this program, may Allah reward them in quantum. And you know the paradox is based on your work. I know when I was in NC, close to when I'm renting, a woman had this sort of sand. He took the drugs. He locked the door. The kid was crying. He died. Do you know that we that as students cannot be able to take it? We have to go and call the security around there. Before they will say, did the mistake and just lodge it and do this thing. We have to take it to the ground and bury that boy. So when I saw you, the first question is your tribe, you have done it already. My own is the prayer. Please continue. And do them bring a lesson to some of the women. Even some of them can carry fetus and be hitting their children. Even their husband is not bringing the food. They've been beating. Some of them will leave the husband house without other things. But what you are doing, Allah reward you. Thank you, madam. God bless you.
God bless you. A quick one, eh? Who is a midwife here? A midwife. Please come. Very quick. Two of you come, please. We want to talk to them. We want to talk to them. Thank you very much.
Please, any other question? Oh, okay, I'm coming here. Where is that mic? Give it to me. Madam, you not tell me say na this dress we dey wear now. I have the type. We for do and co.
Good morning, everyone here. My name is Mohammed Sani. I want to ask this question. I don't know children with this kind of autism, if they can be placed on a special food, if they have any special food to be placed on. And secondly, I don't know if this foundation can render assistance to any child who has a disability like this in the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the very beautiful question about nutrition. Unfortunately, or well, fortunately, the people, no, let me go to this side, they don't offend me. The people I usually interact with are very rich people. There are online. They say, give this one to your child, give this one to your child, give that one, probiotics, pro this, pro that, supplement this, supplement that. I tell them, don't give. God is great. In his name, he created us and put and gave us food. Believe that we have a lot of autism today is because of all the different junk we are using. Some people believe it. You know, I told you we don't know yet. Nobody knows the cause yet. So please, my son, I will give you an example of my son. Feeding my son is very expensive. Very, very expensive. If I'm in Kwali, it will be easier for me. You know why? There's Zogele at the back. Zogele is my vegetable. I use Zogele. Anything I'm cooking, Zogele, I pour it. It's my vegetable. That is, if I can't buy ugu or efo. You know, Zogele grows wild. It's so nutritious. Who knows Ayoyo? Ayoyo is very nice. Who knows Titus fish? You know Titus fish. You see? Is it expensive? Just buy one. Remove the bone. Mash it. Put that dawa. Mix it. Put onion. Buy tomato, fresh one, not bajeo. The strongest tomato. Buy it. Just cut it. Put it inside. Fry it. Give him, let him eat. You know, say that. I can't say that. You know why you can't say that? Nutrition is a lifelong thing. You cannot see the effect in 2 weeks. For anywhere you see, you know it's healthy. If you see a child, you know. Because we don't want nutrition to be one. So I know. Big school. Feed my child at every age. You are not reading. Feed nutritional food. The one you can see locally around you. Give them fish. Omega H3. Give them vegetable. Give them sweet potato. Do it next tomorrow. Do it different ways. You understand? Because I told you it's very have to use it. So it's expensive for me to be buying vegetable every day. But I do it. I don't have option. May God protect our children. So whose hand is up here? No. Let me start from here. That's the second to the last. The second question. Oh yes. The second question. Can this organization help? Me, as you are seeing me so. But our country is different. I'm looking for help. You see, I beg you people. Anywhere I go, I beg for help. But I thank God I can feed myself. There are people who can feed. So yes, we support in our own little way. If you will not say 2,000 is too small, if you will not say 1,500 is too small, because we can only give what we have. And then, COVID, a lot of people give away. I was running about in Abuja distributing rice because I know a lot of parents. I have their addresses. So I have them in my network. I have an NGO. I have them. Any day somebody calls and says, I want to give 2 bags of rice. I thank the person. Then I'll start thinking, who is that person that needs this rice most? I'll do it. I'll share. All right? Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
Good afternoon, ma. In fact, I appreciate your courage, your effort, in fact, towards your child's development and, will I say, transformation. God sees your effort and rewards you. And I believe it will become better and better as the days. My question and concern is about some parents in the society that have this kind of children. They found themselves in the situation and they try to manage it. And we know what the Nigeria society is all about today. It's not easy. Some of them cannot even afford taking these children to the regular school. And some, when they try, they fight everybody and they say, take your child away. I once in a while asked a particular woman, what are you doing about this girl? She said she has taken to school and they say she should not bring the child again. And that there is a particular school in Kuje, and when the father went there, it was too expensive. They cannot afford it. I know of another colleague very close to me who also have such a daughter. I think the girl passed away last year. It was too bad that they have to lock this girl in a room. If you are not so close to them, you may not know she has a daughter like that. Put the water there, put the food there, and the child is left. Eventually she died, and it was like, thank God. So what I'm saying, my concern and passion now is that there are many parents like this who have such children. Actually they cannot afford it. I don't know what efforts this organization have made to sell the idea to the government to see how they can assist, create a conducive environment, gather these children and see how they can help them.
Okay, thank you. Honestly, I wish I'm in the US or UK. If I'm in the US and I have a child with disability, government will be paying me. They will encourage me not to work and stay at home with my child, and they will be paying me support. Are we together? Then, after doing that, his medical is free. The therapist will come to the house. Government is paying. There are centers you take your child to. Government is paying. I would not be suffering like this. Madam, we are suffering. If I can get relief, I will be happy. We will continue to raise our voices. Talk to the local government chairman. Wait, hold on. Oh, hold on. Don't say, Listen now. Oh, you think I don't know? Me that I said that, you think I don't know? I know. You know why? Hello. Don't be discouraged. If you knock on a door, it doesn't open. Keep knocking. Something will give one day. All these senators doing projects and buying Okada. You know the strange thing? They will buy Okada for you. They will come and seize it again. So what are they doing? We can beg them to please establish centers for us. Support us financially. My sister, excuse me, that Kuje, I took my child there. I withdrew him. So I'm very familiar with that challenge. If I'm abroad, I won't suffer. Wallahi, I will not suffer. But here, do you know, I suffered and I'm still suffering. To the point that landlord evicted me. I couldn't pay rent. I had to pack my things and move to one corner now. So me that I'm standing, it's not as if all is well. No. I just told you, I've told you my salary. I told you how much goes out to that child. I have other children, they are in school. Who has, let's not be too, we can become emotional and spoil this party. We're already inspired for action. Let's keep that tempo. If not, if we talk something about
Good afternoon, ma.
well done.
Yes, ma. Ma, in fact, coming here today, I know what I achieved. Because I will not lie to you. I'm having a special child. And that child, he was in regular school. So from there, they directed us to special school. When my child was in regular school, he can use sign language, identify numbers, letters. taking the child to special school. In fact, when I went there to pick my child, what I saw on his body, in fact, I feel bad. And they say school head and caregivers, I be caregiving. I expected that thing from the school. When you buy provisions and take there to your child, in fact, they will take it, they will not give to your child. And when the child misbehaves, instead of them to correct that child, sometimes they will beat this child as if they are
beating an animal. Hold on. I told you people are spoiling this party. You are spoiling this party. I took my son to school. On visiting day, I went to visit my child. My child was wearing sweater. You know, just is normally cold. But that day was hot. Ahmed, why are you wearing sweater in this cold? Remove your sweater. No, mommy. They said she must not remove it. I said, you and who? I removed it. My sister, my brother. If you see marks on the body, and they said the injury is still on his body till today. My sister, don't spoil this party. We're already in. What caregivers are doing. They are big. That's how I removed him from there. I brought him. I said, sit at home with me. You know, Ganaka is run by Catholic sisters. They called me. They begged me. They called the teacher who did it. Up till I called Ahmed today and asked him about the teacher. You will see he has told me that any day he see him, he will fight him back. That's they gave this. They beat them like animals. They don't beat them like human beings. I saw a video of a child that was being beaten by a church. They said they are beating the spirit out of the child. No, the parent was there now. It's the parent that took the child there. They told them they want to beat the evil spirit out. Don't spoil our party. Okay? Anyway, it's good for us to know this. But please, don't let us all. There are places I go to, all of us will be crying. The parents are crying, the children are, the caregivers. Then we just go eat lunch and go home. We will end up crying. On this note, I want to end this conversation. My phone number is there. I think, except that in the program where I can. As you can see, they are all calling me. I have a seminar to attend after here, so I'm rushing to go and attend it. Please, I want to leave you with one thing. Have faith and walk. May God Almighty hear our prayers. May He have mercy on us. May He ask. Because if God wishes, He can. What do we say? Innama amru iza arada shay'an an yaqula lahu. Allah wills. He just said be, and it is. May Allah do it for us, our children, and may God promote us all. Please help me thank Mr. Francis for more than 10 years of supporting Ahmed. Thank you so much.
I thought you would clap harder for her. It's for you. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you. If we were to close now, would you say you're going back empty? Are you sure? You're sure? Great. Say, I beg of you. All right. Just be patient. Is that okay? We will all leave this place happy today. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. So if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, you clap your hands. Happy and you know, when you really want to show that you're happy and you know, you clap your hands. Ooh. See, the first resource material is the teacher. What did I say? And what do I mean by that? As a teacher, if you do not make yourself approachable and catchy for a child to want to reach you, you cannot teach the child anything. And for the parents, you are the most available resource material. In the morning, your child sees you. At noon, he or she sees you, right? Teachers, listen to me. The most important, I'm not saying this to encourage you, is a statement of facts, and I say it with every amount of commitment. The most valuable profession is teaching. What did I say? You know why it is so? You have the power to make or to mar a child. And the faces I'm saying, you're not perfect, but you've always thrived to make a child. Am I communicating? We are going to reset your brain. This is an iceberg. Mama, I salute you. God bless you. We are going to be dealing with behaviors in a short while, but time is fast spent. We have 2 more lectures to go in the midst of over 300 lectures. But for today, we have 2 more. Is that okay? I want somebody, I just met him a few days ago. We had a brief chat, and I saw him more than the day I met him. Mr. Lamba, please. Is he in the hall? Kindly come. Put your hands together for him, please. He's going to take us very quickly, 15 minutes. We will go for lunch. Then when we come back, we're going to be dissecting behavior. Is that clear? Because autism is not seen like other conditions that you see physically. It is only when a child is behaving or not behaving or misbehaving that you will know what autism is. Sir, it is with every amount of respect that I call you to this podium. Thank you for honoring us. God bless you, sir. Thank you. 15, 20 minutes to be done.
Good morning, everybody. A lot has been said. A lot of foundation has been laid. And I'm happy. This is my constituency. Constituency in the sense that I am a teacher. And I teach the blind. Now, in the past, we had segregatory schools for children with special needs. And globally, it was discovered that it's not helping these children. Like the mommy said earlier, we do not have segregatory society where when they graduate or they finish from school, they will go and stay in an isolated society, in an inclusive society. So why not make schools inclusive? So it's a welcome development. At a point, we had integrated schools, mainstream schools. Globally, today we have inclusive education. This declaration was made in 1994 in Salamanca, Spain. Nigeria is a signatory to this declaration, and Nigeria has key into it. FCT has domesticated this document, and we are party to it. I'm taking us back to this little history. It's in our hands. FCT schools, I quote Alaji Noma, he said in an outing that all FCT schools have become inclusive. It's for you to say true or false. Now, what is inclusion? Inclusion means every child, whether disabled or not, should be able to go to a neighborhood school. Now, let me paint the scenario very well. If this mic is not too functional, please. Now, if this is a school, it is expected that all the children within this neighborhood, Wale, Lambata, Bonongo, all the surrounding environment, the child should be able to access this school, his disability notwithstanding. Meaning, if you are deaf, you should be able to come here. If you are blind, you should be able to come here. If you have autism, you should be able to come here. The school has been made accessible to all these category of children. That's what the policy states. I took my time to go through that policy, and I discovered that towards the tail end of the policy, there is provision for extreme cases or profound cases. In other words, children with very severe disabilities, provision is made for them, and that allows for special schools. So this policy has not come to condemn special schools, but to improve on it. A friend went to US and she spent 2 years there. She worked with our board, secondary education board. And when she came back, she attests to it that there are special schools even in the US. So we are not far from it. But the question now is, how inclusive are our schools? We are all coming from schools. Now in 2006, the FCT government decided that now that we have domesticated this document, can we start at pilot level? And the answer is yes. The Peak Government Secondary School Kwali and Peak Government Secondary School Kuje at secondary school level now, and made them pilot schools for inclusive education. Now we'll use these two schools as a yardstick to see if we are moving forward or we are not. I came into the school 2006, and we started with just 2 students, blind. As I'm talking to you, we have a cluster of students with special needs clocking towards 100, and they are doing very well. But does that make the school an inclusive school? The answer is no. Can we admit children with deafness? Can we admit students with severe autism? Can we admit students on wheelchairs? These are questions that demand answers. Are you sure if this were to be a classroom, and this is how our classrooms look like, can a child on a wheelchair access the class? That's a big question. So how accessible are schools for children with disabilities? I give you another scenario. We have blind students. Do you know that it is very, very expensive to train a child with visual impairment? A Parkins braille they use to write, they use to emboss or textualize their writing, costs as high as 800,000 as I stand here now at the current exchange rate. 800,000 naira, close to $1 million. And every child is expected to have one for his or her writing. So, as big as Jesus Kwale is, we have only 3 and only 1 is working. So is that school inclusive? Are we getting it right? This is where I want to draw our attention to. But then it is a policy, government has signed it into law, they are doing a lot of work, they have created a department for special needs. Now the ball is on our court as teachers. This picture was painted for us. It's a typical scenario that you can find yourself facing. How do you handle it? You can't run away from it. And that's where I prepared this paper. So I'll quickly read through some few things for you to know. I will just paraphrase certain things. The UNESCO model of an inclusive classroom shows an inclusive classroom that has essential manpower.
Please, if you're here and you're a parent with a child with special needs, let me see your hand up. If you have a child with special needs, let me see your hand up. Please, go outside and meet the journalist. Go out and meet the journalist, please. Real quick. 2-3 minutes with you will be fine, please. Thank you.
All right. So, before he interrupted, we're talking about what UNESCO described as an ideal inclusive classroom. The classroom has accommodation for children with different challenges. By so, it means you have a counselor in the class, you have a sign language interpreter in the class who interprets for children with hearing difficulty, you have a psychologist in the class, you have a physiotherapist in that class, you have a counselor, and so on and so forth. This is what UNESCO prescribed as an ideal inclusive society. This we have not been able to get. So, inclusive education till now looks like a mirage for me. Because if we cannot get it at the pilot level, then what becomes of the general state, if we are to state? Statistics have shown that children with some level of disabilities tend to perform exceptionally very well. This is very true. For those of you that are conversant with what is happening in GSS Kwali, right from 2012 till date, our overall best students have turned out to be blind students. I thought somebody would clap for us. Yes, the students are doing very well. The teachers are the ones doing it. Government has not provided the enabling environment. I'm not here to criticize government because we are part of the government too. But the truth is that the teacher has a lot of role to play. One quality of a teacher is that he should be what? Very resourceful. This year, I tell you, we are going to produce one of the best results. I was in radio on Wednesday this week, and I took 2 of them for an interview with Nigerian Info. And when I presented those 2 students in the studio, the presenter was shocked. It took her time before she could talk. Because the grammar that was coming out from this boy, was so fantastic. And she was highly impressed with the discussion. So this year, we are going to bring out a very good result. Because of time, what is the way out now? What is the way forward? What do we do? One of it is training and retraining of teachers like it is going now. Like this one that is going on. I have learned a lot from this, and I'm sure it will improve my performance in the classroom. Government should key into this. And remember that education is everybody's business. Parents, teachers, society, government, everybody has a role to play. So one of it is what? Training and retraining. NGOs should also play their role like these ones are doing. Government must make deliberate effort to fund education. United Nations declared that 15% of every year's budget, especially in developing economies like Nigeria, should be dedicated to education. But you hear in Nigeria sometimes 5%. The best I know Nigeria has done is 10% allocation to education. It's one thing to propose. Budget are proposals. Budgetary statements are proposals. But when it comes to implementation, you see that they may release just 5% or even less. So government must make deliberate steps, take deliberate steps to properly fund education. Another thing is that, just like I stated, the ideal of the UNESCO, we need more manpower. We need more manpower. I tell you, some of our secondary schools, you have 1 teacher to 200 students ratio, which is very poor. You want to kill these teachers? The work is too much. It's so overwhelming. So government must employ more hands, and not just employ the right people, so that we have round pegs in round holes. Then the few inclusive schools that we have told the world that we have picked for pilot scheme, let's equip them. Let's start from there. If GSS Kwali is doing very well, we can now say, okay, let's extend it to GSS Gogolada. So we have another center there. But you've not properly equipped the one you are calling pilot center, and you are thinking of another one. It will not work. So let's equip them very well. Lastly, education is everybody's business. It's everybody's business. So all stakeholders must put our hands on deck to ensure we get it right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Are we all excited? Are we all happy? We are trying to, can you all hear me? Please, I want to make one very sincere appeal. We would not waste time, so we're going to take breakfast as we're sitting. Is that okay? As we're taking the breakfast, lecture will continue, so that we can finish on time. Is that accepted? Thank you, wonderful people. Once again, put your hands together for yourselves. No. Don't share it. Okay, let's do the sharing orderly. We can actually do that, and we are still quiet. And I trust you all that you can do that, right? Thank you for coming again. Thank you for your patience. What time do you want to go? Okay, I'm going to start right away. I want you to listen to this. Okay, thank you. Please, those of you sharing water and snacks, make sure those outside are properly taken care of. Is that clear? IFA. IFA, did you hear what I said? Thank you. So, we're going to start the next session in just 5 minutes' time. Is that okay? In the next 5 minutes, we'll start the next session. This is 12 o'clock. I'll be back in 5 minutes' time. Please, let me beg of you, you will tolerate our mistakes. Is that okay? Please. Please. If you haven't taken water, let me see your hand up. If you haven't drank water, okay, give to them. Those of you outside, have you drank water? It will come, don't worry. Thanks for coming, eh? God bless you all. Thank you. Have you taken snacks here? Have you taken water here? What about snacks? Have you taken snacks? The idea was for you to go, fill your water, pour it, and take your snacks. But if you do that, it will be chaotic. And there's no time again. Do you understand? So I said, let me just, you can always take a seat. So please bear with us here. Please.
I'm not hearing what you are telling them.
The idea was, we brought cups. There's water for you to, hot water. But I noticed that if we do that, because of the population, it will be chaotic. That they just give them this is handy. You can always go home and take it down. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So the intent was for everybody to go out, line up with your cup and with hot water where you press and it drops. Then you take your tea. But I realized that if you do that, time will be wasted. Then it might be a bit chaotic. So please, I beg of you, forgive us for that. Is that okay? Listen to me. The most important people here is you. I'm not saying this to impress you. No. We call you the right holders. Is that okay? Is that okay? You must be properly taken care of. If you haven't drank water in this hall, let me see your hand up. Everybody is taking water. I have actually asked for more water from the factory. So bear with us. Yes? Share. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Who's talking? What is this? What is it? I want to open it. It's telling me. All right. I need someone to be here that will touch next. Okay, next. Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Okay. Now we're going to be talking about autism in depth. If you can hear me, if you can't hear me, stand up. If you can't hear me, stand up. You can't hear me. If you cannot hear me, stand up. If you can hear me, sit down. If you can hear me, sit down. That means you're all hearing me. Okay. Yinka, suspend the sharing of a cup. Suspend it. What is more important is the knowledge. Is that okay? I'm not enjoying this mic. Go with it. Thank you. Hello. Okay. We are starting right away. I want us to leave here by 3 p.m. on the dot. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Because of time, let me not do this one again, sir. I want to show you now. That's what I want to show you now. Go back. I know. It wasn't responding fast. That's I pressed it twice. Go back to that behavior. It's not this one. Hold on. Just go back. Search for behavior. No, not this one. Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to get started right away. If you have pen and paper, bring it out. Listen more to what I want to say than what is on the board. Is that okay? Is that okay? Mrs. Rafa Salami, a super mother with a child with special needs, talked about autism. I will wrap it up by pointing a few very instrumental things so that as we move into behavior and more so challenging behavior of children with autism, you will have a better understanding. Is that clear? Autism is not a disease. Autism is simply a neurodevelopmental disorder that is characterized by impairment in speech, language, and communication, social skills and relationship development, and of course, behaviors. Autism knows no economic status. It knows no social status. Economic knows no race. Economic knows no age. Autism knows no age, so to speak, because it's not something that says, oh, this person is young, that person is old, so let me affect the young or the old. No. It doesn't know sex, whether you're a male or a female. Usually, there are early signs that you will see as a parent or as a teacher or as any other caregiver that you feel concerned. There is what we call development milestones. When a child is born, you will expect your child to be meeting certain milestones. Am I communicating? From day 1 to about 3 months old, you will expect your child to be able to move the body. Neck control. When you are breastfeeding your child, you will expect your child to maintain eye contact with you. You will expect your child to respond to your smiles. Am I communicating? From that 3 months to about 4, 5, 6 months, you will expect the child to be able to sit. Right? At about first year, first birthday, you will expect the child to make some steps. Am I communicating? If this child is not measuring up with those milestones, heaven has not fallen down. It does not call for worries per se, but it calls for attention. Who grabbed what I said? Because there are children without any form of delay per se, but it's just a global delay. It is not every child who is not measuring up with these milestones that is on the spectrum of autism. No. There are some children who might be having CP, cerebral palsy, which is a medical condition, and you see the effect more on motor skills. When these delays are seen, and there are other behavioral presentations, for example, the child lacks eye contact. Your child is not socializing the way he should socialize. Your child cries excessively. Your child is either too cold or too hyperactive. As a child is growing up, the child is engaging in behaviors which I describe as ritualistic behaviors. Or better still, you call it repetitive behaviors. The child will line up objects. He will stack objects. He's moving back and forth. He's spinning. He's rocking. These are red flags. The child tiptoes. The child flaps. These are what? Red flags. Noise. The child is closing his ears. These are what? Red flags. Diagnosis will be more appropriate and almost correct at the age of 18 months to about 3 years. And diagnosis is not something you wake up in the morning, you carry up a questionnaire, and you just judge. No. Diagnosis will have to involve a lot of professionals. Am I communicating? Doctors will be there, specifically child neurologists, child pediatricians, psychologists, teachers, occupational therapists, behavior analysts, and a lot of other professionals. When they are able to assess this child, and the assessment takes rigorous processes, among others, historical record of the child, the processes of conception, during pregnancy, what happened, during birth, what happened, developing, what happened, what opportunities has this child been given. That's one. You will also be given a questionnaire or questionnaires. You will fill. Then of course, that child will be seen physically. It is when all of these have been done by the various experts, and if their statements, different assertions are consistent with the other, then a diagnosis can be made. Am I communicating? As teachers, listen to me. There are things I'm going to say here that's going to shock you. Shock you either as news to you, or as things you're not doing rightly, or as things you're doing rightly but you didn't know you were doing them rightly. So if I poke you, be patient with me. Is that okay? There are myths, a lot of misconceptions that have been associated with this condition. They will say, oh, the grandmother to that child or the grandfather is a witch. That's a lie from the pit of hell. The child is possessed. Bad parenting. That's not correct. Autism is a disorder that is yet to be comprehensively understood. You know why? There is no known cause, and there is no known cure. We only have what we call suspected causes. And of all, the most of all is genetic issue. Hello. There are arguments around lifestyle, excess exposure to toxins, to magnetic gadgets during your scanning and all of that. Please, they are either correct or wrong. We are still researching. Am I communicating? But we also know that we are what we eat. Am I communicating? I'm not saying that what you ate caused autism. No. I'm only saying that whatever you eat is capable of affecting your child. Am I communicating? I didn't say that what you ate could cause autism. Did I say that? No. But I'm saying that your lifestyle is capable of affecting your what? It might not be autism. It might be other things. This example I'm going to give you might not necessarily be autism. Over time, it has always resulted into cerebral palsy. Listen, we are all children of God. I believe in miracles. I have seen it 1,000 times. In fact, waking up this morning was a miracle. The fact that I made calls and you guys all gathered here is what? A miracle. Let me also say this. When you're pregnant and doctor tells you, go for CS, don't allow anybody to go to the wall and put his hand and lambodashing. Am I communicating? Don't do that. CS is CS. Pray to God to get you out of that place successfully. When your child, when the fetus is distressed, it can affect your child. Hello. Sometimes I get very emotional about this thing. Because what ordinarily would have been avoided out of ignorance, out of belief, will allow it to cause problems. I have a video. I won't show you because of time. I have over 1,000 videos. Some I have the authorization to show, to encourage people. Some I don't have the authorization, so I don't show them. I would have shown you a video of a woman. Listen to me. I cannot imagine a world without medical doctors. But some doctors have caused a lot of problems for parents. When you go to the hospital, you have the right to know what is being administered to you. What did I say? Not only hospital, even when you go to teachers, you come to us. I have a child with special needs. You have the right to know what is going to be done for your child. Imagine a woman who was in labor and if she was given an injection that will make her to sleep. I love that. This child was born with cerebral palsy, with a lot of issues, comorbidity. For the past 9 years, this child has been suffering, the parents have been suffering. Innocent child. Listen and listen, really good teachers and caregivers. Hospitals are places for people to go and get healed. But are you aware that today, with all due respect to the system, there are hospitals you go to, your problem becomes worse. Not necessarily because of what they administer to you, but because of the way you are treated. Sir, am I communicating? What you might need might not be the medication. What you might need is, oh, madam, how are you? You know what? This is just but medicine, but I know you're strong. Stand up, let me see. Do like this, do like this. You feel belonged. That alone is healing you psychologically. Parents of children with special needs, they are more affected than even the child. Sir, did you hear what I said? Parents living with children with special needs, they are more affected than even the child. You got married, lots of hopes. Child was born. Everybody celebrated. Suddenly, something came up. Now that parent comes to you as a teacher, as a caregiver. Sir, my child. First, some of us will have what we call professional disabilities. As you're coming, be dynamic. As the parent is coming, as that woman is coming, that man is coming, as the brother to that boy, the sister to that boy is coming to you, relax. If I tell you, for instance, that the woman came from Sokoto, from Calabar, from Meduguri, from Bauchi, from Ibadan, came to Abuja, they want to come and see Mr. Francis. Who ma'am, how are you? You're welcome. So by what I'm seeing right away, your child might be having some psychotic issues, and your child would need to go through some behavioral examinations. And excuse me, you are professionally what? Disabled. You take your child to a place, supposedly a place where your child should be taken care of. You ended up causing more problems for your child. The story she gave you, Ahmed, when she came, the first person she called was me. When she went to where Ahmed was. Hot afternoon sweater. How? Open his back. See lashes. Innocent child. Listen to me. I said, listen to what I want to say more. Because if you don't get it right, your skills will not be effective. Teachers, listen and listen good. You're here to make a difference in the life of children. Don't add an inch to the pains they go through. A parent comes to you, narrated all the stories upon leaving, say, idiot. You don't know how to take care of your child. You are the most, in fact, your foolishness is foolish. With every amount of respect, I don't mean to insult you. I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to you that's engaging in that behavior. And I don't care how you feel right away. We are here to redesign your brain. Parents go through a lot, just like you also go through what? A lot. It gets to that point where you need to take a break. You take a break. For the past days, I've not slept because I wanted to make sure this was a success. And I thank God Almighty that you're all here. Put your hands together for yourselves again. Listen to me. Sometimes the only support a parent might need is for you as a neighbor to tell that woman and that man, Mama Nkechi, you know what? This weekend, Nkechi will spend with me. Go and make your hair. Go and take care of yourself. Go to the market and shop. That might be all a parent might do at a time. It's okay. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. The bottom line is this, if you don't have a child with special needs yet, know that special need has not passed you. It is in front of you. I wish not even my enemies to have one. Special need is not bad. Special need is not good. If you feel cool by what you do to that child by the corner, go ahead. I say what? Go ahead. God is not a wicked God, but he is God that knows that even himself know that he is God. It's a question of time. Don't ever gossip children with special needs. What did I say? There's a lot. When a parent comes to you, don't be the additional problem to the problem they came for you to solve. Teachers, do we have school owners here? School heads? School owners, proprietors, proprietress, or proprietresses, heads of schools. Your teachers are not jackies. What did I say? Are you aware that if you have a child with special need, it's like 20 other children put together? This teacher is working very hard, dedicatedly, and you don't want to appreciate them? Appreciation might not be monetary in nature. No. A teacher walks past by. Mr. Joseph, come here. For the past 2 weeks, I've been watching you. You're looking well dressed, looking very handsome. You know what? I have nothing to give to you. I have a pair of shoes for you. Listen to me. That teacher's passion would triple. Oh, Mrs. Nkechi, the best I have seen for this week is your hair. Right? Colleagues, teachers, yourselves. Listen to me. It doesn't take so much to make somebody happy. As you go to get your perfume, get one for somebody in your school. Yes, your colleague. Pass it. Instead, some of us will be gossiping. Look at that man, he smells. Oga, now your mouth they smell. Am I communicating? Teachers, respect yourselves. Value yourselves. Appreciate yourselves. It brings a lot of motivation. And until you're happy, you cannot help that child. School owners, that money that you're going to take flight 50 times in a year, reduce it to 20 times in a year. The extra money, top up your teacher salaries. Am I communicating? Teachers, if you take the business of your school as your school, listen to me, even your children that is in the hand of somebody else, God will watch them. You didn't hear what I said. I have 3 children. 3 wonderful daughters. Their head, they born. I usually share this story. In Abuja, from Gwarimpa, then we stayed at Dusi. Took my children just before that Open University. That bridge there, if you know that bridge, close to Charlie Boy. They kidnapped my children with my wife. I don't know how. God sent an angel and double-crossed them. They took my children, threw away my wife, and they zoomed off. Who knows if it was the God of Ahmed Salami that helped me? Teacher, let me ask you a question. Have you ever asked yourself every day lesson plan? Marking of papers. Children, sit, go. Yet you don't get sick. Have you ever wondered why it is so? It is God that preserves you. Sir, am I communicating? Go back today. It's a moment of reflection. Ask yourself, are you a teacher that is making or a teacher that is here to mar? Can I shock you? Are you aware that most of our children believe you more than they believe their parents? That's why when the parent talks, so my teacher said this. Whether your school head is there or not, whether your colleague is there or not, do what is right. Can I stop? Teachers, listen. I'm going to drop here now. Teachers. Whether private school or government school, take it as your business. Did you hear me? The school is not the structure. The school is you and the child. If your school has a flyer, don't do eye service. That's the more data you're going to use to gossip. A click on it can go to several places. You are advertising the school. Hello? Nobody sleeps in my class. Who is sleeping? If you're sleeping, sit down. If you're sleeping, stand up. Who is standing up? We are here for business. Teachers. And when I say teachers, I'm not talking about only classroom teachers. Church teachers. Mosque teachers. Traditional teachers. Some of you know how to abuse your children. And some of you, when they say abuse, you think it's only physical. No. A house girl that sits carelessly in the house before a young boy is abusing a child. You're not aware of that? Be a professional at all times. What gives you the temerity to go close to a 15-year-old child or even 12? You want to hold shoulder. You embrace. Don't do that. Whether with intention or without intention, don't do that. You're there to protect. You're there to teach. Don't be the one who is abusing them. Not only females, even the male. If a child under your care is eating food, especially children with special needs, and if that spoon falls on the floor, and you didn't wash it, you give it back to that child, you have just abused that child. If they were capable to tell you what's on their minds, you will run and hide. So the fact that they cannot say it should get you scared. It should. I'm a teacher. Fantastic. See, if you keep going when it comes to ethics, we can't finish. And let me tell you something. No matter how professional you are in terms of your skills, if you are not maintaining certain ethical practice, standards and considerations, you shift. Some teachers, they will give children their food to bring to school. Teachers will eat the food. It sounds amazing, right? Some teachers who go for home lesson, listen, you must keep yourself at a level where you are called a professional. When you go for home lesson, if your school authorizes it at all, please go with a bottle of water. What that means is this. In that home, if you're given food, don't eat, not even water. Except you're falling down, you're dying. And there's the need for you to be given food to get revived. Some of you go, you forget a child. They give you plate pounded yam, you download. Some of you, you go to see children with special needs at home, even neurotypical counterparts, you end up impregnating their house girl. Or you're saying, sir, is it not possible? Okay, listen to me. Some ladies, beautiful ladies, homeless, they will end up harassing Oga. What am I trying to say? For you to be able to take care of children with autism and other special needs, you must be a professional. They will slap you. They will spit at you. They will stab you. They will hit you. Not too long ago, I walked into the center. A young boy was quite not happy. I didn't know the antecedent for that behavior. I said, okay, let me get him cuddled. He was right in front of me. His head was just on this side. Before I knew it, boom, I went like this, boom, on the floor. I slumped. My therapist had to revive me. I woke up laughing. I said I woke up laughing. That is a joy in it. Am I celebrating it? No. That's what you're going to see. If you're not patient, you can't handle them. You must see, listen to me. 3 things or 4 will keep you going. 1, passion. What did I say? But it's not enough to be passionate. In addition to being passionate, sir, you must love the children unconditionally. The question you should always ask yourself, this child with autism, this child with special needs, this child with that, if this child were to be my child, is that the way I'm going to be treating that child? Ask yourself. So when you saw me shedding tears, I was not doing that to impress you. God forbid. But we've seen things. Please, parents, don't worry. God is seeing you through. Teachers, be patient. So in addition to being passionate and loving the children, you must be extremely patient. For without it, you cannot move forward. Children with autism have issues with processing information. When you give instruction 1, they will need to take some time, process it before they can act. If you're not patient, you yank, you slap, you beat. Beatings, shouting, spanking has never and will never teach a new behavior. You only suppress it. But because behavior occurs for 4 reasons or so, either for sensory gratification, access to edible, for attention, or for escape, when the need for that behavior comes up, the child must behave that way. So a child comes to you, he screams to get your attention. Teach that child how to tap you on the shoulder to get your attention. Listen to me. Every behavior is a form of communication. So when means or one way of behaving is not appropriate, it's not enough to cut it off. You look for something more appropriate to replace it. We'll call it behavior modification. We'll get into that in a minute. But I wanted to reset your mindset. Please, are we benefiting from this training? Listen to me. As teachers, our God has done us well. As parents, More so as parents for with children with special needs, God has even done you much more well. Listen to me. Listen and listen really good. If you have a child here with special needs, either as a teacher or as a parent, God has allowed that child to come your way so that you'll be a solution to others. Rafa Salami is a testimony. She came here, shared her story. I'm sure for those of you with a child with special needs, you got stimulated. Am I communicating? The God that you worship never responds to tears or fears, but to faith that is backed up with action, such as this. You had so many things to do today, but you said today you'll be here. This is the first step. Be passionate. Love the children. Be consistent. But beyond being consistent, there's one more I'm going to add to you. Sir, be committed. What did I say? I don't say this to impress anybody. Share with you. But my qualification, but it's not about qualification. I'm just trying to share my stories with you to encourage you to be more passionate and more committed. My counterparts in Western world, nobody, if they work for only 5 hours in a day, for a month, they earn close to 10 million. Oh, yes. I've had people who told me, I'm talking about deputy governors, come and work with my child. And the question I ask is this: so if you take me to your child, what about those who cannot afford me? Please, don't feel impressed. No. I'm only saying that, as teachers, there are sacrifices you make. The benefit might not be monetary. It might be good health. Yes. It might be that even your own children will become superstars. Yes. Don't pretend as teachers. Don't. Please, put up my slide for me. Slide. And I just want to be there on standby. Autism is not a curse. Autism world is an interesting world. Very interesting. If you're passionate. If you love them. If you're committed to it. If you're consistent. This afternoon, before we leave, I want to dissect behavior. What's happening? Time is far gone. The prevalence of autism in Nigeria is on the increase, and Africa at large. We need to prepare the society. We need to prepare the world. We need to set up structures that will be able to take care of children with special needs. Today, we're going to be dealing with managing challenging behaviors. Let us start by defining behavior. I would like to be summarizing every of these things. Do you understand? Just listen to me more. Behavior, there are several definitions to a behavior, but the most of all, which is the layman own, but is the most effective, is that a behavior is anything a man does. What did I say? So if a behavior is anything a man does, what's a behavior?
For instance, maybe the way I walk, the word.
They said walking is a behavior. Is that correct? Absolutely correct. Talking is a behavior. As I'm talking, my friend here is nodding his head. He's behaving. You are smiling. You're behaving. You eat. You're behaving. She's stressed. She just did like this. She's behaving. Interaction will be vague. What kind of interaction? Am I shaking you? Am I talking to you? Am I looking at you? That is why for a behavior to be called a behavior, it must be observable. It must be quantifiable. It must be seen to be happening. So every day your child with special needs, your child with autism is running up and down. Crying, shouting, flapping, fidgeting, spinning, tiptoeing, not sitting down. He goes to church. See, some parents can't even go to a village meeting anymore. They can't go to churches anymore. That woman who has just entered the mall with a handbag, with a new baby, the child by the side has autism. A teacher is walking by. All you need to do at that time, as you open the door, you say, "Ma, please, can you come in?" That's the support that parent might need at that time. "Oh, ma'am, your son look wonderful. Do you mind if I hold your son and I walk with you as you shop?" That's the support for that parent at that time. "Can I have your handbag? Can you give me your list? Let me take from the shelf for you." But some of us will make it worse. By gossiping. We suffer from verbal diarrhea. That is not good for our profession. What did I say? That is not good for our what? Profession. Next page. I need somebody to be here on standby. Okay, hold on. From the above definitions, therefore, behavior could be defined as everything or anything man does while functioning and interacting with his environment. Few examples are what? Smiling, eating, talking, clapping, crying, etc. Next. In early development, certain challenging behaviors are expected. For example, parents find it challenging to get children to cooperate with bedtime, manage their strong preferences for certain kinds of food, power of autonomy, independence, physical and sexual development. Others could be self-control, appropriate social skills, toilet training, developing responsibility. For a typical child, the above mentioned development stages could be seen to fall within normal because they are developmentally what? Appropriate. However, for a child with special need, especially those living with autism spectrum disorder, it could be largely, if not totally what? Different. To this end, our focus will be on dealing with challenging behaviors of children living what? Autism spectrum disorder. If you are not hearing me, stand up. If you can hear me, sit down. Oh, you're all hearing me, right? Is this something that you would have actually desired to know? Teachers, what you're hearing today, are you desiring to hear more? The challenging behavior of children with autism spectrum disorder often causes parents and families the most stress. Yes. Sometimes the first step in managing challenging behavior can be spotting the things that trigger it. Next. Next. When do we say a behavior is challenging? Behaviors become challenging when we consistently encounter a situation where a child, an individual, does not conduct him or herself properly for the environment. Am I communicating? So that child in your class is not sitting down. He's hitting other children. When a child behavioral presentations are not commensurate with what we expect of him or her. When a child or an individual does not do what we want, when we want, and how we want it done. There's a little clause in this one, and I will share with you. You have a house girl whose behavior is calling for concern. As you were going out, you say, Nkechi, why am I always using Nkechi? You say, Mary, wash the dishes. You came back, Mary did not wash the dishes. The next day, same thing happened. Third day, the same thing happened. what do you think will be a problem? Does that behavior call for concern? If it calls for concern, have you also asked yourself what's the reason for that behavior? Madam, when was the last time you paid the house girl? That might be a variable or a factor that is stopping her from washing the plate. She could be sick. And I usually tell people, if you want something done the exact way you want it done, then do it yourself. Did you hear what I said? Do what? Do it yourself. A child does not do what we want. All of that. A 3-year-old Jordan climbs on mom's lap and licks her cheek to kiss her. Could this be okay? Come. I like the way she responded. She said, yes, sir. Tell us why.
Because of his age. That's 3. So it's common that children at 3 does something like that. It's normal. Yes, sir.
With this one now, even those that were sleeping, they will no longer sleep. Now listen, I don't have so much, not because I have that I'm giving out. No. For everything I do here is for a reason, and it's to teach you a lesson. You can. Who's the motivation? Come. You cannot be successful working with children with autism or any other developmental issues without using reinforcers. Right? You're all excited, right? Teachers. Some of us wake up in the morning. School has resumed. You go and sit down. Put all the rules. That's the beginning of your failure. Wallahi. The children will come in. Listen. Get them welcomed. Be the most stupid person that day. Dance around them. Sometimes you're having new children. I said before, make yourself approachable. Get to know your students. You add the teacher, yes. Create a level of rapport with them that they will trust you. Oh, Joseph, today we're going to write what we're going to be doing for this term. Like sitting down quietly. Joseph will write everything down. Jeremiah will write everything down. Mary will write. Nkechi will write. Collect them. You read it out. Summarize all. Go and put. They took their hands to write them. They are already what? Committed. Don't go and draw any rule and come and put it. No, they will not listen to you. And some of us, when we make some mistakes, is because we pay attention more to what we don't want to see than what we want to what? See. Joseph sits down. He doesn't get to be praised. But when Joseph stands up, Joseph, go and sit down. When he was sitting, did you tell him, Joseph, oh, Joseph, you're sitting down nicely. Any behavior that is reinforced will be on the increase, whether it is positive or what? Negative. Mama, if you shout and your husband stands up to give you a check, the behavior of shouting will what? Increase. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever dressed or have you ever made your hair in a way that your husband said, "Oh, baby, this is so fantastic. You're looking very take away. Baby, come." He puts his hand in his wallet, brings out some naira, and pushes to you. Madam, when next you want to go and make your hair, you'll be tempted to repeat that hairstyle that he admired. You say what? Madam, I'm not asking, I'm telling you. Just a minute, just a minute. Just a minute. What food does your husband like best? Swallow. What kind of soup? Draw. Do you always increase that cooking of draw and swallow? Clap for her now. I've answered the question. I'm not talking about fake appreciation. I'm talking about sincere appreciation. Oh, babe, your hair is beautiful. Next time we'll give you money. You'll say, do that. Not that one, but just do something like that. Am I communicating? When you're working with children with special needs, develop reinforcers that will keep them. See, ask yourself, if you were to be this child, what is it that somebody will get you to do that ordinarily you will not have loved to do? Pair yourself with reinforcers. Good one. And reinforcers might not necessarily be or even physical things to eat. That child enjoys a certain area. He enjoys playground. After he has worked for you, go and have 5 minutes and play. The child will trust you. And listen to me. Every moment is a teachable moment. Teaching must not only happen in the class. Seize every opportunity to teach. We call it incidental teaching or natural environment teaching. What's incidental? You teach when the opportunity arises. The child just went out with you. There are lots of balloons everywhere. Hey, you jump there, hold the balloon. Red balloon. You have taught the child color red. You go into the child's behavioral environment. It's not always about you. No. It must not be teacher-led. It could also be what? Child-led. That child is enjoying his Lego, mounting those Legos. And you want to teach numbers, right? Hey, stop. It's time for numbers. You are professionally what? Disabled. Oh, James, I can see you playing with Lego. Ooh, give me one Lego. Take one Lego. Give me two. 1, 2. Sir, you're teaching numbers using what? Lego. You don't have to move the child. Do you like to be stopped from doing what you like to do? Answer me now. Be dynamic. Be flexible. On the list in the class, everything is written there. This time, we'll sit quietly. It was Joseph that wrote it too. Each time he says it, he knows that he was the one that wrote it. Joseph will comport himself because he wrote it. When behaviors that are appropriate are demonstrated, reward them. They will engage more in that behavior. Do we understand? If we're to go in depth into behavior management, I'll tell you what they call negative reinforcement. But let me just share with you. There are children who don't like your face. And once a child does not like your face, he will not understand your course. So this child sits down in the class. He doesn't want to attend mathematics class. Once he comes, he will hit another child. Oh! And the teacher will say, James, stupid boy, out of my class. The intention for presenting that behavior was for him to go out and jump on the jingle over. What's it called? Is it Jangolobia or Jangolova? Epo moto, Jangolova. I'm not hearing now. Teacher, Jangalova. How is it called? Jangalova, right? Or say jingle over. Say after. Say jingle over. That's the name. It's not Jangalova, yeah? I'm sure some of you are hearing it for the first time. It's actually called jingle over, not jangle over. Mikhail, a 20-year-old adult, measuring 25 pounds, sits on mom's lap and licks her cheek to get her a kiss. Would this be okay? Why? Eh? Eh? So when I asked the first question, the response was very minimal. But because there's a reinforcer, they are competing to answer the question. What that means is that if you have a child with autism and you have developed reinforcer, the child will engage more in behaving well. When Jeremy, an 8-year-old boy, reaches out and sends a breakable glass flying for not having a Coke for a dinner, would that be okay? 8-year-old breaks glasses because he was not giving Coke. Would that behavior be okay? Why? Eh? Why? Oh, good. What if Jeremy were to be 3 years old and he breaks a hose? Would that be okay? Eh? It's not what? Why?
It's not normal because it's showing violence in.
Do we agree? We're all shut up now. Listen to me. Madam, I will give you 1,000. In this case, it's not an issue of age. A bad behavior is a bad behavior. If that child were to be your child and he took your phone and broke it, we say, oh, good boy, because he's a 3-year-old. Is that not so? A bad behavior is a bad behavior. An 18-year-old Messi keeps pulling his shoes and socks off to walk barefoot. Some of our children with autism, they have what we call sensory dysfunctions. You can't touch them. So they can't put up. This label you see on your shirt here is like having 1 billion soldier ants in your brain. Can you envisage it? Think about it. That's the way they feel. They don't want you to touch them. They don't want you to confine them because, see, if I touch your hand now, can I touch your hand? Back. Look, everybody look. By this touch, a message has been sent to the brain. And there's an automatic interpretation that is just a touch. But because our children with autism have issues processing information, to them it might be a threat. So when you come to them and say, don't touch me, leave them. There's what we call sensory integration exercises. Like the body brushing, blanket roll, all of that. They will not be used to being what? Touched. Don't just cut into their wall and expect them to feel the way you feel. It doesn't work like that. Next slide. Next. A 10-year-old Jane bites the boy sitting close to her when he cries because crying makes her mad. Sensory dysfunction. We call it hypersensitivity to sound. As you are here now, if we were to have a child with severe autism, even this heat will be a problem. This light will be a problem. This fan that is turned will be a problem. This mic is like an aeroplane inside a child's brain. So imagine yourself in that world. And all you want to do is to come here. It's not rocket science. Jeje, kada. Am I communicating? A 15-year-old Ronaldo runs out of the bathroom with his pants and around his ankle. 15-year-old running naked. That's not normal. Faith, a 10-year-old girl, consistently picks objects into her mouth. Rocks, flaps, spins, because she wants to gratify or self-regulate herself. A 7-year-old Moreno closes his ears against or eyes against loud sound or light and screams, etc. Next. Other circumstances which usually will cause concerns are when behavior is causing injury to the environment, that is to the person presenting the behavior, other persons and properties, and is capable of causing exclusion. So that child cannot stay in the class because the child's behavior is injurious to others. I hope you know that as much as we want to care for our children with special needs, we cannot allow their neurotypical counterpart to also suffer. I hope you know that. When behavioral presentations differ from expectations, especially when compared to age, ability level, location, event, or activity. See, each of these has a lot of explanation, but because of time, please, I will rush. Is that okay? I don't want to keep you for a longer time. When a behavior calls for attention, therefore making a host significantly different from others. Earlier I said, you did like this, right? Imagine her, for every 30 seconds, she's doing like this. It is her neighbors that will be asking what's wrong with her. They will shift from her. Is that not so? Because that behavior has distinct that person. That's what we call stimulation. For children with autism, some of them stimulate to self-regulate. But I can guarantee you that virtually everybody here stimulates. The difference is that theirs happen more frequently. Do you understand? And it lasts longer. So it has to do with duration and frequency. Intensity. These men walking up and down, they are self-regulating. Oh, that's the truth. Yeah, this man, look at this man now. He just opened his cap. He's scratching his hair. He's self-regulating. Some of you are shaking your legs like this. Some of you are scratching your ear. Some of you are folding your hand like this. You're self-regulating. But it's the frequency, it's the intensity of that behavior that differentiates us. Simply put, behavior will be termed challenging when it's occurring higher or lower than expected in terms of what? Frequency and duration. When it's occurring at the wrong place, wrong time, with the wrong word, person. I am married. If I meet with my wife on the road, is that appropriate? Is that appropriate? Why? I am married. If I met with my wife on the street, would that be appropriate? Why? It's not the right place, even though it's with the right person. Therefore, in summary, challenging behavior is a behavior that may result in exclusion from typical school, home, and community settings or in social relationship. It often results in reduced quality of life for the person and his or her what? Family. There will be an example. Having stated a few examples of challenging behaviors of children with autism, it is even more striking. What is even more striking is the question what? Why? Listen to me. Until this question why is answered, you can never provide solution for behavioral issues. Am I communicating? If there was time, I would have taught you what they call ABC in ABA. Antecedent, behavior, and consequence. Until this question is given reasonable attention, it will be challenging to address what we consider challenging behavior. Therefore, let us consider a few reasons why challenging behavior will occur. Next. To help us look at this, I need two people, a drama queen and a drama boy. I need a boy who is a drama boy. Come, no time again. Teachers, be teachers now. Hey, come, drop your phone, drop your eyeglass. Okay, you hold on. I need another drama boy. Drama boy, come on the stage. Come on the stage here. No time. Come on the stage. Drama boy now. Correct. Oh, it's good. Stay this way. Now listen. We're looking at a typical example of a child called what? Aaron. I want us to see Aaron live by these two people. So I'm going to read this first. You listen carefully, then you act when I'm going to be reading. See, assume that you are a child, you are Aaron that has autism. You are the father of Aaron that has autism. So let's listen now. Dad took the family to circus. Aaron was smiling as he got out of the car and walked to the area. When they entered the tent, Aaron began to pull Dad's hand and he screamed, "Eat, eat!" Dad told Aaron it was not time for lunch yet. He tried to tell Aaron that the circus show was going to begin and they needed to get to their seat. Aaron pulled his hand, pulled his arm again. He sat on the floor. He kicked, screamed, kicked. And his noise could be heard over the commotion of the circus environment. Dad started yelling at Aaron, "Stop acting like this." Remember, at this time, the father was also now what? Frustrated. After a short while, Dad didn't know what else to do. He ended up carrying Aaron back to the car to wait for other members of the family. Are you aware that Aaron's father's life has been shortened? His social engagement has been what? Shortened. Sir, you are Aaron's father. You are what? Aaron. I'm going to read and you act like Aaron. Go close. Yes. Dad took the family to the circus. You're driving, sir. Aaron was smiling as they got out of the car. They walked to the area. They entered the tent. Aaron pulled his hand. See your dad here. Pull his hand. Dad, and he screamed, "Eat, eat! Eat, eat! Eat, eat!" Dad told Aaron it was not time for lunch yet. Good. Yes. That the circus was going to start in a minute. Aaron continued to pull his hand. Aaron sat on the floor. He started kicking and yelling. He started kicking and yelling. Aaron kicked and yelled, "Eat, eat, eat!" Dad started yelling at Aaron. "Stop like that." Told Aaron. After a short while, Dad got tired and he ended up carrying Aaron to the car. Come. Listen and listen to me. That is what some of our parents go through. You saw what went through to that place? Can you imagine it if you were the one? Then as teachers, you gossip parents. You gossip children with special needs. I said special needs is in front of you. You're not amplifying it. It is in front of. Shout it. Let heaven hear. It is in front of. Correct people. IFA accountant. Let me see you quickly. IFA accountant. So when you bring, I'll tell you what to do. Get them ready. Next. Now, what could be going on in our minds or that of Aaron's father? Right? Was Aaron being bad just to cause a problem? This is highly unlikely. The challenging question is why? That why in red is very, very important. Unless we know the cause of his difficulty. The cause of his what? Difficulty. It will be extremely difficult to know how to avoid or to handle a problem like that of Aaron. Next. Here are some possibilities. Going to the circles was not a part of his normal routine, and he did not know how to handle the what? Event. Our children with autism, they believe in structure. What is next? What is next? What is next? And when you prepare such structured environment that is supported with visual cues or schedules, it makes life easy for them. Do we understand? Going to the circles was so exciting to Aaron that his excitement escalated to a point of being out of what? Control. That could also be the reason why. Aaron did not know what to expect at the circles. And when he saw the change and different things, he was what? Afraid. That's what we call antecedent-based intervention. If I knew that a child with autism, if he comes in here, he will scream because of his light, I will simply dim the light or off it. Do we understand? Going to the circle tent reminded Aaron of the amusement park where he had a problem a few months ago. See, if you have ever been knocked down by an elephant, you know, if you sight an anthill, you'll be scared. Is that not so? The environment was so noisy or smelly. Perhaps it was too hot or too flashy. Or the flashy light annoyed him. Let me ask one simple question. As you are here, if there was a smoke, could we have sat down here? If these fans were off, windows shut down, could you have sat down here? Environment imparts behavior. When Aaron yelled, eat, he may be physically hungry. Yes, it could be. Perhaps Aaron yelled, eat because he saw the popcorn what? Vendor. Yelling, eat could have been a way of saying he had a stomach what? Pain. Aaron may have been trying to communicate what was really bothering him, but the word eat were the only word that would come out. He did not have the right language to tell Dad what the problem was. Once Aaron was expressing his difficulty, his behavior just escalated. He did not know how to stop. He did not know how to calm down. It is likely that the combination of issues created the escalation of Aaron's behavior. I wish we had all the answers to the above suggested questions. Perhaps Aaron's outburst could have been better handled. Even though there are endless numbers of questions we might never know, there are lots of predictable reasons that may cause what? A difficulty. Having considered the case study of Aaron and his dad, let us now consider possible reasons for behavioral presentations. Research shows that nature does not allow vacuum to exist. Therefore, for a behavior to occur, there are most likely for sensory gratification, escape, access to edible, preferred item, and what? Attention. Having grouped possible reasons for behavioral presentations, let us therefore, in details, possible causes of challenging behaviors in children with autism spectrum disorder. Next. Children with autism spectrum disorder are likely to behave in challenging ways because they might have what? Limited verbal capability. You see here, let me tell us one mistake we usually make. Most times, we're not bothered about the difficulties, but we want a quick fix. It doesn't work that way. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Remember I said you must understand the question, why? Sir, stop, come. This is a moment of truth. Come. Let's assume that he went to a place. You went to a place, eh? And you have a very serious need that must be met at a time. But you have a language barrier. You can't speak to people. You cannot be spoken to. And there's no other alternative communication system, like maybe using pictures or written words to show that you have a need. And the only way to have access to that need is to slap somebody. Would you slap?
No. No.
Okay. It doesn't have a need. You do what? I am very happy that you are admitting that you what? Slap. That child in your class, that child in the community that is slapping, is because he doesn't have the right skills to communicate his need. It is in your hand to teach that child a better way to communicate. Either through using pictures or using words or tapping and pointing. As long as it's fetching the same reason, the child has what? Communicated. Communication must not only be verbal. You can use sign language. Sorry, please, I'm so sky. Sign language expert. Oh my God. This is a very gross mistake that I don't like to make. Usually in all our trainings, I must bring, because we are very inclusive. Is anybody here with hearing impairment? Anyone here with hearing impairment? Okay. Even if there is none, our practice is to be very inclusive. So we would usually bring somebody who has sign language to also. You sign? Please come. Give me a chair, give me that chair. Please, I am so sorry for that gap, but thankfully we have somebody who can sign. Please sit. Sit. All right. She will sign, okay? Is that okay? All right. Limited sense of security and prediction resulting from lack of structure and inconsistency. This seriously negates rituals, routine, and smooth transition. It rather promotes what? Frustration. Let me ask one simple question. When you got this invitation, you planned your today. Is that not so? Let's assume that you came to that gate and I told you it's no longer holding. How would you feel? In fact, even heaven will be against me. And from here, some of you have planned your time that you're going to do something else, until the day runs out. Listen to me. Your behavior in a day defines you as a human being. So that child that you're working with, he believes in routine. He wants to know what is next. I was in Ghana when I went to Northford University to go and present a paper. And I got a call that one Imran was waiting for me. The first day I saw that boy when I came back from Ghana, his spit covered my face. But you also not laugh. You balance it. If you scream, he knows that his behavior is affecting you. You are frustrated already. He will use that behavior against you. You can't laugh because it's not a behavior that should be appreciated by laughing. You remain calm. You clean it. He did it severally. Let me cut the story short. A child that wouldn't speak, he wouldn't eat, he wouldn't do anything, he would rather boom. It got to a point where each time I got to the center, he said, Mr. Francis, second time. He was telling me the activity for that day. Am I communicating? Teachers, parents, Bekonu, the Allah, Ejo, be what? Patient. Processing issues, resulting in trouble understanding what's happening in the environment. For example, what other people are saying or communicating through facial expression, body language or oral what? Production. Listen to me. With all due respect to my wonderful brothers and sisters who's taught. But have you ever argued with a stammerer before? I hope you stood away from them. So as I was saying that I was not the one that said it. It's on your face, oh. What am I trying to say? You have children on the spectrum of autism. They have something to communicate. They don't have the right skills, the right tools to communicate with. And you say they should not be frustrated, they will be frustrated. Teachers, be patient. If there's nothing you're going to take away from here, take patience. Is that okay? Thank you. Next. Sensory sensitivities. If a child with autism has sensory sensitivities, he or she might like to seek sensory diet. For example, feeling or touching particular surfaces or objects, seeking a tight hug, etc. He or she might get upset if not allowed to. There's what we call hyposensitivity and hypersensitivity. Hyper, they resist. Hypo, they seek. A child that is hypersensitive to light, he will scream. Some of you, this light is disturbing you. Is that not so? But a child that is hypersensitive, the child would rather want to go and look at it. Visual diet. What he gets from that place calms him down. He enjoys. So while some will seek sensory diet, some will resist it. Some will seek, that same person will also resist some. Sensory overload. David might get upset if the environment is this. I'm telling you now. We'll call it environmental triggers. A large sound, bright light, too many people, bright colors could be environmental triggers for challenging behaviors. Unrealistic expectations. Let me use my word for this. On what? Except teachers, listen. Healthcare workers, listen. Except you're conducting assessment to define the baselines where the child is at the time. Please, teach before you ask. Did you hear what I said? Teach a child before you ask a question. Unless baseline test to know where that child is at the time. Is that okay? Is that okay? There's also what we call restitution or overcorrection. No matter how messy this hall is, if James came in here and dropped a bottle of water on the floor, teachers, please don't ask James to sweep the entire floor. What did I say? That will be tantamount to abuse. Because you are not longer dealing with the behavior, you're dealing with the child. Ask James to pick what he dropped. Is that okay? morbidity, discomfort, sleep problems, medical conditions. I'm sure for some of you who came here today, some of you who went for social life yesterday, some of you who did night prayers, midnight prayers now, weekend midnight prayers, I'm sure that here is affecting you today. Is that not so? You're dozing off. That child didn't sleep well last night. He wants to compensate for the next day in school. You're slapping. Madam, that child can never give you the best. What did I say? Never.